we discussed it also very quickly on the side on the amendment of our rules. We had said that the committee may be allowed to do the committee hearings, get, of course, the advice and the inputs of different luminaries, whether in the legal field or the financial side, or financial sector, and all other sectors concerned. But at the end of the day, we were discussing with the majority leader what would trigger the creation of a Senate counterpart, Senate Constituent Assembly, was basically the submission of the, and you can add to our suggestions when we craft our rules, is the submission of the committee report by the committee signed by the majority of members, meaning it can be taken in for plenary action. So that could be a signal. Once that is done, then we can come up with a constituent assembly on the Senate's part. We're actually thinking about the idea not to have it during plenary session at 3 o'clock, but earlier in the morning, so it'll be treated as a separate entity, a separate assembly, and we can discuss, and I think the minority floor leader agrees with me, because we'll be part of the rules making when we come up with the final amendment to our rules. And then we could make the decision wherein the amendments can be voted upon individually. Let's say there's on issue on national patrimony, education, and all. It can be done 3/4 vote per amendment. And the reason why I say that is I foresee a problem in the future wherein the House may stick to its guns and add more, 7 amendments or even political amendments. And so definitely that is where I see a bit of a difficulty, because we're going to have to look into a bicameral setup wherein they will submit to us their version, an amended or the approved version of the House, and we will also submit our approved version, and eventually that will be up for discussion. How, I think that is what I foresee is going to be the problem there. How do we reconcile these two documents? Of course, if the Senate refuses to agree to the amendments of the House, then nothing is passed. In other words, we have no amendments to the Charter. So that is how we're going to craft our rules for the information of everyone, and that's the suggestion we made to the head of the Rules Committee, which we'll be discussing lengthily now with the minority floor leader and the members of the Rules Committee. But more or less, that's acceptable, Your Honors. I presume that that is an acceptable proposal on the rules. So we will be meeting outside of plenary session, because this is not legislation. This is amendment to the Constitution. And how the rules will be done on approving each individual amendment will be discussed there, as long as it is 3/4 vote approved by each this Constituent Assembly, headed on the part of the Senate. So yun lamang po, Chairman, and I think actually that's exciting. We'll be discussing that in the Rules Committee. Will assist the majority floor leader on crafting the specific rules on this particular topic on amendments to the Constitution. Thank you, Chairman.